of the Hammer, a podcast about Warhammer, the Games Workshop.
Hello, Hammerheads. This is Michael, and coming at you this evening, I am sitting here at the table. Randy is back in town from veterinary school, and since he was back for about 10 days or so, we decided to get a battle in. And, well, honestly, since we're doing a big, huge battle, actually, we figured we'd do a battle report for this week, especially since I've not had time with work and everything to actually get a regular scheduled thing in. So I'm sitting here at the table with my son Randy and his fiance. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves real quick, and then we'll go on and get on with the podcast. So Randy, why don't we start with you?
Well, guys, you know me, Randy. I am Michael's son. I'm back a little bit for some vacation time before next semester, and I'm just here to represent for Tzeentch's Mysterious Ways with Magic.
That you are. Allie?
I am hanging out with the goblins and the squigs over here, the Moonclan.
Yeah, we've got an interesting alliance,
Yeah,
you and I.
This is pretty
I
different.
cracked out my Nurgle again. We probably did this backwards. I probably should have linked up with Tzeentch and let Allie play the larger army. But
Probably.
Oh no, this was
is-
all Tzeentch's plan.
well,
this
it
is-
probably was, to be honest.
And this is all the goblins and squigs I have currently, so
Well, that's true.
this is all we could do.
But yet we are actually playing a massive 2v1 game.
Pretty astronomical on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
table.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I kind of wish we were videoing it, but we're not. But we'll start it off. My Nurgle list, I am running as my general is Rodigus, and I've got a Demon Prince of Nurgle. And I know, don't tell me about Demon Princes, but I just wanted to fill one because we're
I
just
like
having
them.
fun. I've got 2 units of 30 Plague Bearers, 2 units of 5 Putrid Blight Kings. I've got a Soul Grinder and 3 Plague Drones. And if you do the math, that's right at 2,000 points for my half of our army. And Allie's got the other half of our army.
Capped out at
is-
exactly 2,000 points. I've got a war boss.
Did you hit 2,000?
Yes, I hit
Oh,
2,000.
well, I'm going to throw my Centaurs back in then.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, so cool. I'll have a ally of Centaurs.
So I've got my war boss, 2 Grot Shaman, about 35 cave squig. I love my squigs.
How do you have to divide it up?
I've got those squigs divided up by a herd of 15 and then a herd of 20. And then got some herders with them. Can't forget the herders. I've got a colossal squig. You can't forget the colossal squig. It's my favorite. And I've got 2 mangler squigs, a squig gaba, and I believe that's it other than my archers.
Yep, big, huge unit of archers.
Big, huge unit of archers. 40 archers over here.
Well, I guess that brings it around to the vastly superior race of demons and army over here.
There's no reason for you to be racist now.
Taking up a fourth of the table.
So I'll start off with my battle line. I've got 4 groups of 10 pink horrors, and I've got 2 burning chariots of Tzeentch. Given that the book doesn't kind of give instructions for battle line and hero allotment for 4,000 points, kind of eyeballed it there. The 2 burning chariots are part of the what is it actually called? I think it's Overseer's Fate Twisters Battalion. And the leader of that is a Lord of Change, and then accompanying him is 2 burning chariots of Tzeentch, a Herald of Tzeentch on a burning chariot, Herald of Tzeentch on a disc, a regular Herald of Tzeentch on foot, Changeling, Blue Scribes, and an Exalted Flamer. We also have a Warp Flame host, which has a Exalted Flamer at the head of that, with 3 groups of 3 Flamers of Tzeentch. And both of those 2 battalions come together to form the Eternal Conflagration. We've got 2 groups of 3 Screamers of Tzeentch, and 10 Blue Horrors, as well as an Ogroid Thaumaturge with an accompanying 30 Brimstone Horrors.
Why don't you list the whole
That
group there?
so basically the entire realm of Tzeentch has been emptied.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all coming at us. Is that everything you've got?
I believe that has covered everything.
And his shelf is empty behind him.
I think you're in trouble. I'm just gonna. I think you're in trouble. I don't think you brought enough. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are playing the battle plan, Total Commitment. So, in case you don't know, that's I'll just kind of go over it real quick. The board is set up. It's long ways. So we're on one side, traveling the short distance toward Randy. He's on the other side, and we've got 4 objectives. And there's one objective in each of the corner sections, centered in the corner section
Right.
of basically each player's side. So there's 4 objectives. Of course, it's in the General's Handbook. If you need to look it up to get that clarified, I'm not really good at describing a diagram. Players are fighting to gain control of the objectives, and if you control an objective on your side of the territory, you get 1 victory point at the end of each of your turns. For each objective that you control on your opponent's side, you get 3. So theoretically, you could score 8 victory points in a single turn, theoretically.
In theory.
And at the end of the battle, whichever side has the most victory points wins a major victory. If you tie, then of course you add up the points of the opposing army that you destroyed. And if you have the majority of that, then you win a minor victory. So that's what we'll be playing. Before we continue, I neglected to mention the sponsors for Age of the Hammer. So I want to be sure that I do that real quickly. Of course, Age of the Hammer is brought to you by the South Georgia War Games Association. The SGWA is where the best miniature players in South Georgia get their game on. And we are also brought to you by Broken Brush Gaming. And, of course, Wes does a fabulous job with doing commission paint jobs. Give him a look up. He's on Facebook, Broken Brush Gaming. He's also on Twitter. I believe that's at Broken Brush Gaming. He'll probably kick me if I got that wrong. But
He painted
anyway.
all of Randy's models.
Yeah, the
He did.
vast majority.
Yeah,
Most of them are painted, but
The Tzeentch army, the painted parts of it, because he's fielding everything he's got, the vast majority of those Wes did and did a fabulous job on. They look fantastic.
I think aside from one of the pink horrors and the
Yeah.
screamers, I think everything else was done by him.
Yeah, and you actually did a great job on the screamers.
But they're not complete yet. But
But
I'm liking how they look so far.
And with that, I think that we will get our setup taken care of. We'll do our first battle round, and then we will come back and do a synopsis of the battle round. Of course, I'll edit this all together, but we're going to do our report battle round by battle round so that we don't forget to tell you guys something that's significant. We'll be back in just a little bit. We have finished round 1. Allie and I got priority on round 1, and I had set up, I've got a unit of Plague Bearers on our far left, next to them a Soul Grinder, unit of Plague Drones, and then 2 units of 5 Blight Kings, my Great Unclean One, and a Demon Prince. And then on our far, first Plague Bearers were on our far left, and on the far right, another unit of Plague Bearers, both of them on objectives, just to try to hold those. Hero phase, not really much happened. I attempted a spell and didn't even get it off, so that was uneventful. Movement, I just kind of advanced. My Cynagors, which are in the center of our line, I ran them, used a command point to get 6 so I could harry his line a little bit, got them within 7 inches of a unit. They subsequently charged after our shooting phase, but we'll get to that with that. Shooting, we did a little bit of damage, pulled off about 4-5 models or so, even at the range that we had. More or less, our movement and shooting was just advanced, and then a couple of units were in range, so we shot with them. I did get the charge off with my Cynagors. I pulled off a total of 4 pink horrors, 2 of my guys came off to wounds, so we basically exchanged 4 wounds for 4 wounds, and that was the end of our turn. Allie, what did I leave out? Anything from during our turn?
Nothing remarkable happened on my side other than the Squig Gaba got 2 wounds off on his Herald.
Which is on the burning chariot.
Which is on the burning chariot. So we got some damage to him, but not a lot, mostly due to range and that type of thing. So Randy, your turn.
So started off in the hero phase. The Lord of Change used a command point to pop his command ability to give basically all of my casters bonuses to casting. And that's kind of where things started going downhill for them. I got a total of 9 spells off. I think they blocked 2.
One.
It was just 1. Okay. So I cast 10 spells. They blocked 1. 9 went off. About half of them were kind of buff spells that didn't really do anything, but the rest were damage spells. I knocked out a few wounds on the cave squigs during that portion, as well as, was it 1.5 of your plague drones?
Just about 1.5.
Which equates to about 7 to 8 wounds on the plague drones, which is very
like
helpful.
7 wounds.
Aside from that, in the hero phase, there wasn't really much going on. Just about, I think, a total of like 10 wounds got through in the hero phase. I didn't have many spells that were able to be in range. Movement phase, I moved a lot of my units up and ran a couple people. I used a command point to get a 6 on a run die instead of a 1. But most of my shooters were able to get it within range without running. So I moved into my shooting phase, and that's where I got most of my wounds that turn. I finished off...
Flamers are nasty.
Yeah, flamers are extremely nasty. Flamers...
He's got a boat ton of flamers.
Got 3, 6, 9 regular, 2 exalted, and 2 on a burning chariot.
Completely dismantled a group of cave squigs.
Yeah, a unit of cave squigs evaporated.
My 3 unit of pink cores that could shoot shot. I think I got 1 wound with 1, and then the other group did a total of 4 wounds, which took off 2 cave squigs. And then the flamers ended up finishing off 1 and about half of another plague drone, so they got about 4 wounds there. I got like 1 or 2 wounds on the... what's the
2 wounds on the soul grinder.
2 wounds on the soul... Well, that was during combat. Yep. I was talking about the big unit.
Oh, the Blight Kings.
The Blight Kings, I got 1 or 2 wounds on them. Mm-hmm. The Colossal Squig, I got, about 3 wounds on that during the shooting.
Yeah, 3 during shooting, 2 during...
The aftermath of the shooting.
Yep.
The other big group of cave squigs, the 20-man unit.
You got 8 out during shooting.
Yep, so a total of 16 wounds.
Yes.
You didn't save any of the saves, and I got 7 wounds through.
I didn't save anything. My dice were completely betraying me.
Well, our dice were crap.
Yeah, and I spiked a whole bunch of rolls.
Yeah,
I mean,
our dice were... All of our saves were garbage, and...
I spiked so many. I got an unchecked mutations on the plague drone in the casting phase, in the hero phase, and I spiked 5 of the dice rolls and got 5 wounds on a plague drone with that 1 spell.
Randy is the luckiest dice roller in the world when it comes to Warhammer and
yeah.
Age of Sigmar.
So the
end go ahead. End of your turn.
The end of my turn, my shooting phase ended, and I basically got the aftermath with the flamers ability on every unit except for one of the plague bearer units, which didn't really matter one way or the other. I charged in a group of screamers on the soul grinder, and the remaining plague drone got one wound through on the plague drone, 1 or 2 on the it was 2 on the soul grinder. And then
the soul grinder ate them.
Yeah, they evaporated.
That was the one bright side of his turn for us, was the soul grinder went yum 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 on a couple of screamers. So
yep.
The top of the cake, though, is I ended up with priority, getting
one
a second
priority,
turn.
so he's getting a double turn. We'll get this round done, at least his turn of it, but game may be over at that point.
It'll very much so depend on the casting.
Yeah, it will. So that will bring us to round 2, and we will talk to you in a moment. All right, Hammerhead, so we finished up round 2. And Randy, you started off round 2. You had top of round, so why don't you tell us about your exploits during that part, and then we'll do a little bit better job, Allie and I splitting up. I'll talk about mine, and then let her talk about hers.
Okay. So start of the round, I start with my hero phase. Use some command points to give that beacon of sorcery to boost my spells some. I had 3 failed castings right off the bat. I had like a 1 and a 2 double ones, and I think like a 2 and a 3 for a spell that I need like a 7 on. So even with the +1, I didn't get that. After that, the casting kind of started working out a little bit better for me. I didn't have anything absolutely amazing in the casting phase, just a few wounds here and there to finish off a unit or two. But then I had like 1 or 2 others that failed, but I ended up getting 18 fate points total, so I think I had like 8 or 9 the previous round, and then I got another like 9 this round. And going into my movement phase, I moved things up a little bit. Hindsight, probably a little too much, but with some of the charge rolls, I don't think it would have mattered.
Some of the charge rolls were pretty high.
Yeah. So movement, there wasn't really a whole lot. I used a command point to have my Brimstone Horrors be able to run and keep up with the Ogreoid because he has the treacherous bond with him. Then moving into at the end of movement phase, I used my 18 fate points to bring in another unit of 3 flamers, and then into the shooting phase, I did a good bit of wounds again. Finished off another 1 or 2 models. Got a lot of damage on the Soul Grinder. Got it down to, what is it at? 13 out of the 16? Is that right?
Well, you actually got it down to 14 out of the 16, but
you healed one.
I had the healing.
This is Blight Kings, right here?
Yes.
Got the Blight Kings down to 2 models, which was a good bit of damage there.
Yeah, one of the units.
Did some more significant damage to the Colossal Squig, and almost took out a unit of Cave Squigs.
Yeah, they were down to 3.
But that was pretty much my shooting. I didn't really have any charges. I tried to charge with the Screamers on the far left side of the table into one of the Mangler Squigs, but that was an unsuccessful charge. And that was the majority of my turn.
All right, so top of our turn, I was at the point in the stage of corruption that was corrupted regrowth. So the models that I had that were wounded, I got to heal D3 wounds, which took a single wound off of a couple of my Blight Kings from the 2 units. And then rolled the D3 for my Soul Grinder and got just 1, but it actually bumped him up a step on the damage track. So
Right.
So he got a little bit better with that. He could have gotten a good bit better, but oh well, that's how it is. I did manage to get off the spell with my Great, or with Rodicus that I'm running, who is a Great Unclean One, but he's a named Great Unclean One, and basically set the track back 1, because with that spell I get to pick where I want it to be. So our next hero phase, I will get the healing again. So that was a good spell that got off. I think his other spell either failed or you dispelled it, one of the 2.
One or the other.
Right.
So that more or less was my hero phase. I guess, Allie, your hero phase?
All of my spells failed.
Well, there you go. So I couldn't remember if we got any of yours off.
Yeah. Do not rely on my...
Well,
Do not rely on them for spells.
You got the mushroom. You got one on
One of them ate a mushroom. The
and
other
did
one
nothing.
failed.
Yeah, and the other one ate a mushroom, got the +2 bonus, rolled well, but turns out the Lord of Change is pretty awesome at blocking spells.
Yeah.
I
so his
think you
spells
got
failed
like an
because of the
11 or 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had to get a 13, but because of Beacon of Sorcery,
Yep.
I got a 6, and
And boom,
Yep.
became the 12 + 1 and
Yeah.
stopped it.
My shaman.
So
that's...
it was rather disappointing, but you know that's how things go. Movement advanced. I mean, that's the one thing that I have learned from playing Tzeentch. Unless you can match them range for range, spell for spell, which there's no way you can do unless you are also Tzeentch, you move forward. You take the losses and you move forward. So literally just advanced as far as I could. Oh, no, I did get the other spell off with my Great Unclean One. It was the one that gave +1 to hit to my Blight Kings.
Yeah.
So they had that on it. My full unit of Blight Kings had that. So moved up, shooting, my Soul Grinder shot, and put wounds on the unit of flamers that was over here. Killed 2.
Killed 2, and then
But the last one that came off, he rolled a 6.
and it came right back.
So it came right back. And then, but then got charges off. My plague bearers on our far left charged into some, those are blues?
Yeah.
Into some blue horrors. And my soul grinder followed up and charged into them, mainly trying to get to the flamers, who were pretty close behind them. And with a 2-inch reach, he was going to be able to reach them. As it turned out, Randy piled in with them anyway, so the 2-inch reach wasn't going to matter. My Demon Prince got in on a unit of flamers. My big unit of Blight Kings got in on a Exalted Flamer, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're kind of split
Yes.
between the Exalted and the Flamer unit.
And the regular Flamer unit. And then my smaller unit in on a unit of Pink Horrors. That was pretty much it for me for my charges. My other unit of Plague Bearers still just sitting over here on the objective, just kind of camping out and laughing and having a good time. Combat, well, your charges, your movement and charges.
I
and
brought,
shooting.
Yeah,
'Cause-
shooting. My Squig Gobba did pretty reasonable shooting, and got to
Got that unit of Pink Horrors
Got
down
that-
to 2,
yeah, got that unit of Pink Horse down to 2, and then
which I summoned in because I had the points, a
Right.
unit of 5 Plague Bearers. So getting those Pink Horrors down below my unit of 5 Plague Bearers, we
helped
would have
us
scored
with the
3 victory
objective,
points.
But,
And we did it. We got them down below it.
and then
I
they
hate
came right back.
fate dice. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but do not rely on Grots to do much shooting wise, because I have a unit of 40 and got 2 shots off.
Got 2 hits.
Got
and-
2
yeah,
hits,
Yeah.
but that's reasonable.
I think
for
we actually
them.
did snipe 1 wound through.
Yeah,
on,
I did.
On something.
I did.
And to
got
be
2
fair,
wounds through.
out of those 40, you only had about 20 that could shoot.
Yeah,
That's
I had
true.
20 that could
That's true.
shoot.
So you could have gotten 4
I think
hits.
I got 6 hits, 2 wounds, which is pretty reasonable for 20 Grots, because most of the time Grots really don't do squat shooting.
Yeah.
They're way better close combat than they are ranged, but we needed ranged for this fight, so I brought ranged because,
I'm very limited on range.
yeah, very limited on range. The cave squigs I brought both the units together because I had a unit of 25 and a unit of 15, and I'm down to 3 and 9.
Yeah.
So I brought those together to attack
So Screamers.
these
Screamers.
screamers, and took out a screamer, and another screamer has 1 wound on him, which is pretty substantial. The Mangler Squigs charged in and took out
a
those-
bunch of stuff.
Took out a bunch of stuff. One of them had a pretty decent meal with flamers and an exalted flamer, and
And then the other one
The
ate,
other one-
ate the
entire burning chariot.
yeah, ate an entire
yeah,
burning
an
chariot.
entire burning chariot. Just
Gobbled it up.
immediately, just went up, went, more mine.
Yeah,
Mangler Squigs do what Mangler Squigs do.
Yes, indeed.
they are the hard, heavy hitters of this battle, I'm sure. The Colossal Squig, he's down so far on the wound track, he's not doing too much, but he did do a significant amount of damage this time. I was
Took out a
pretty,
unit of, well, almost an entire unit of
almost an
flamers and some
entire
pink
unit of
horrors, I
flamers.
think.
Yeah, he did a lot more than I thought he was going to do.
Yeah, there's 1 of those flamers left out of that unit of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out in the combat, I took it, my Blight Kings took out the Exalted Flamer, took out some of the other unit of flamers that was there. Randy had summoned in a unit of flamers behind them. That's what the
Right.
Colossal Squig worked on. My Demon Prince finished off the unit of flamers and lit into some pink horrors, and my other 2 Blight Kings, I think, did a couple other wounds to the pink horrors.
Right, so if you're thinking about investing in a Colossal Squig and some Mangler Squigs, definitely do it, because they are amazing.
And they're fun models too.
Yeah.
My Blight Kings took out about half of the blue horrors. I mean, not
you
Blight
mean your
Kings, my
Plague
Plague Bearers.
Yeah, Plague Bearers.
Took out about half of the blue horrors. And my Soul Grinder, he did marvelous. He absolutely, totally crushed that unit of flamers.
And then they came
And
back.
Randy spiked 2 6s, and they're back to full strength. So,
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
if we were
no.
battling any other...
yeah.
Any other
so,
person,
But in his
wouldn't come
defense,
back.
we took off so many flamers that turn.
Yes.
He was due some
took off
sixes.
3.
Well, we
4,
did. We
5.
did. We took off 6 models in that one between shooting and
Right.
melee.
So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, because I got 2 more back there. So
And then we took off.
14 plus the 2 or 3 over there. So I mean,
Yeah. So,
yeah, there was a lot of flamers coming off the field.
He was due a couple of 6s. I mean,
True.
I'll grant that, but it was really frustrating to end the turn and see those guys at full strength when I just pounded the crap out of them this turn. Basically, Randy's not. He didn't have a bad turn, but he did not have as glorious a turn as he had on round 1. He had I think 3 of his spells failed,
Yeah,
but only 2 were offensive.
Right.
But one of those was potentially a big one because it was like that repeating.
Yeah, the unchecked mutations.
And then I blocked 1. I unbound 1, so that was a total of 4 spells that were stopped. And
I think the one you unbound was another really big heavy hitter.
yeah.
I think it was one of the D6 mortal wound spells.
And then his shooting, while effective and got rid of some units and really whittled some down, was not quite as effective as the first round.
I couldn't remove enough models to force battle shock tests.
Right.
That's what it amounted to.
So we're going into round 3. It's looking kind of back toward even. And it's another one of those rounds where it really kind of looks like whoever gets priority might really do enough damage to their opponent to that might be it. So as per usual, and we always say it may come down to the priority roll, although we really thought that was going to be the case last round. And due to a little bit of not quite as high Lustra die rolls, it remained close enough for us to counter and get a good counter charge off. We've got him engaged now. If we can keep some models alive,
Yeah.
we've got a really good chance.
If we can keep that colossal squig and
If we can't keep models alive, then we're not going to have enough left to continue to pound away before he just picks us apart with his magic.
Right.
Number of models wise, I've definitely removed more models. But firepower wise, y'all have significantly reduced my firepower. I think I looked at
we
last
almost
night and-
eliminated your shooting
Yeah.
that round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what
your
we were
shooting
aiming
is almost,
to do.
I've
we couldn't
got-
get to your casters. I mean, I would have loved to.
2 units of flamers, a burning chariot, and then my 4 units of almost 10 pink quarters.
Yeah,
for everyone.
would have loved to have eliminated some casters also, but we
Yeah.
couldn't get to them. We just
Yeah.
could not get to them.
You
So
gotta
we
screen
kind of,
them.
huh?
You gotta screen them if
Well,
you're Tzeentch.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I mean, I could drop some stuff down behind them, but it's not powerful enough to take them out. But so we focused on the shooters because both rounds actually the shooters did more to us than the spells did.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it for round 2. We're engaged now, so there's more to talk about. First round's always we advanced and cast some spells and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go to priority roll for round 3, and we'll play out round 3, and we'll come back and tell you about it, and also let you know if we even need to continue the game after that one. But we'll see. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so we just finished up round 3, and again, Randy had 1 priority roll for round 3. So we'll let him do the report of his turn, and then the awesomeness of our turn.
Okay, so...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So, hero phase, my spellcasting was a little bit better that turn. I got... Honestly, I don't remember what I took out with it, but I took out several things. Nothing like game-changing, obviously.
Well, you really whittled down that Future Dark Blight.
Oh, that
Okay.
did... Yeah, I took out like 4 models.
There were
in the-
5. You took out 3 out of the...
Yeah, I took out
Out of
like
the 5.
3 of the 5 Blight Kings in the magic phase. But aside from that, I got...
So, I mean, that
like
was 13 wounds on that unit.
I got like 2 wounds on one of the Mangler Squigs. I got another like 1 or 2 wounds on the Colossal Squig.
You got a couple of wounds on my unclean one.
Yeah, but those healed. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah.
But the big thing was I took out a lot of Blight Kings, which was a lot of wounds to push through. Moving into shooting, I had basically about half the firepower that I've had all game because of last round's combats.
It was less than half.
But
you still did well with it.
yeah, I finished off the... Was the Soul Grinder finished off this turn?
Yes.
Okay, I finished off the Soul Grinder. I finished off another one of the Blight Kings.
In fact, you put dead on his last wound.
Yep, that's right. I took out a few cave squigs, I think, like one.
You took out like one or two.
But I mean, that was pretty much it with shooting. I did run one of my heralds on a disc up to the far,
which was a solid move
objective point to capture that one
because
no one
we
was
had
there.
moved the plague bears up to hold our left flank, so it was exposed and ready to capture.
When combats came around, that's kind of when things started going downhill. My Thaumaturge ended up engaging.
Yeah,
He got a charge
charged.
off, which he didn't do terrible, but I missed with several of his D3 damage attacks, and that kept him from killing a Mangler Squig. He got him down to, I think, 4 wounds left.
I think
And
that's right.
and then he ended up getting wiped.
And the Mangler
got
Squig ate
eaten.
him.
Yep. Aside from that, I got 1 or 2 wounds on the Colossal Squig, bringing him down to 1 wound left.
Yep.
I got the 4th of the Blight Kings. No, that was during shooting, wasn't it? I did like a few points to the Blight King area.
I think you got some wounds on one. I think
I didn't kill any of
you
the
didn't kill
models.
any more of the models, but
I retreated my Screamers to keep them alive for another turn.
and to try to hold that objective from me because you had
Yeah,
more
true.
models than I did at that point.
And I also retreated my Blue Scribes while keeping my Changeling in range to try to slow down the Mangler Squigs. But that was pretty much my turn. I took out a few things in the shooting and the magic phase, but things started seriously going downhill once combat came around.
But that was when the scoring in the round started to turn around also, because you captured the objective on our side,
Right.
and you still had both of them on your side, so you scored 5 victory points.
Right. So
that
it was 9 to what?
9-4.
4.
Because basically we both held our own up to that point. So our turn came around. I had reset the cycle, so it hit the heal again. So the wounds on my Great Unclean one came off. I think you had some wounds on a Blight King that also came off.
I might have gotten like 1 on the Demon Prince, which came off, but
Yeah. So basically all of my models started with no wounds on them again. So I hoped that the Soul Grinder was going to hang around and I could bump him up another couple of notches, but he died, so that took care of him. Then I cast
something to note, I forgot the aftermath in the shooting phase with the Capricious Flames for the models that the Flamers
Yep.
attacked, and I also forgot the Eternal Conflagration.
But realistically, the units that were going to take that,
they lost models
You were going to
anyway.
get D3, and
Yeah.
they had enough wounds; they weren't going to die. So, and then they would have healed. So, I did cast the Blades of Corruption, so I got my Demon Prince +1 to hit, and got that spell off. The other spell that I attempted to cast, I was going to try to do some damage on his guy that captured the objective on our end, but he unbound that one, so it did not go off. Did you get spells off? You got
I did. I got both
the
spells
Curse
off.
of the Bad Moon, didn't
Curse
you?
of the Bad Moon and Arcane Bolt.
Arcane Bolt. So, and kind of whittled away at the big, huge conglomeration.
Yes.
Who all was in that grouping?
It was like virtually everything.
Is the blue horse, the pink horse?
Yes, I got it off on the blue horse, the pink
Or
horse.
is that
Brimstone.
That's
Brimstone
Brimstone.
horse.
Or,
Okay.
yeah, Brimstones. I got it off on the Brimstones,
And the Lord of
the
Change.
pink horse, and the Lord of Change. It stopped hitting at the pink horse.
Yeah. Yep.
The other pink
So
horse.
that was fun. We kind of got to turn one of those spells that you keep rolling dice and keep doing damage. That was kind
Yeah,
of
it was
fun.
actually.
They got to
working for
feel
us.
how Tzeentch feels every single magic phase.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then the Arcane Bolt actually hit the Lord of Change.
Yep.
So that was nice.
And that was a
for
D3.
D3.
For D3.
And it was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So got some damage on them.
So that was nice.
Then we went to our movement.
Yep.
And I moved it's Rodicus, the named Great Unclean one. Moved him back towards, what is this guy?
He's just a Herald of
A
Tzeentch
Herald
on a
of
disc.
Tzeentch. Basically so that I could be assured that I would get the charge off. So moved him down. Plague Bearers were already in combat, so they were locked there. I flew my Demon Prince over a building and landed him 3 inches outside of one of the flaming chariots and on the objective marker, hoping that the Demon Prince could take that guy down. And charged with my 2 Blight Kings from my first unit of 5, because he wiped out 4 of the models, including the leader, so did a total of 17 wounds to that unit on your turn. So my 2 others charged them over to get them in the combat over there, just to try to have some added both wounds and attacks in that area. And you, Allie, you had several really good charges.
I did. Randy found out the hard way that those mangler squigs, even if you try to slow them down, they don't slow down.
They get to where they go.
They get to where they want to go.
You got a good long charge. I think it was like 10 or 11 inches.
Like 10 inches.
It's like 10. And
unfortunately for y'all, that long charge did not correlate into too much damage.
No, it did not. It did not. Spoiler alert, the Mangler Squig flubbed his attacks.
Yeah.
But it would have been beautiful if he hadn't.
Well, when they get too much damage on them, they're not good.
We skipped shooting. We jumped to charging because I forgot because my shooting unit was dead.
Well, my
MVP of the game is that freaking Squig Gobba. Because fired at those 10 pink horrors that were over on Randy's left flank.
Well, it was down to 8 now because of the firing from last time.
Right,
but
was down to 8.
Decimated.
But fired at that unit and nailed them with every
shot.
Every shot, every one wounded, and failed all the saves.
I made 2.
Made two. And it was to the wound, the number of models left, picked that unit up, which meant we were automatically scoring that objective in Randy's zone. So that Squig Gobba got us 3 points.
Yeah, it's nice to note it's only 160 points for an artillery piece, and the larger the units, the better it's going to hit them. It gets +1 as long as there's 10 or more models. Yeah. So it's hitting on 3s against most units, and I think it wounds on 3s as well.
And it's not just a good artillery piece, but from what I'm reading about it, it's also extremely good in combat.
It's decent in combat. On paper, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I've had 1 or 2 experiences with it in combat.
Hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, damage is D3.
Yeah.
Yep.
That Cavernous Maw actually looks pretty good.
So that was our shooting, which accomplished getting us victory points. Didn't even worry about charging
your poor Grots, though.
Do what?
Those Grots
did
jack
did
crap.
nothing. We should have just run them.
I should have just ran them up on that objective and let them sit there.
40 shots, you got 3 hits,
and they didn't even wound.
And no wounds through.
No wounds through. So they just
they're my pity
rained
party.
arrows all over the place, but nothing hit anything except trees.
They had goblin aim.
They're my pity party.
My Rodigus did get his charge off and engaged the Herald. My Demon Prince got the charge off and engaged the Flaming Chariot. And that was pretty much it for our charges, wasn't it?
Yep.
Y'all had
Cave Squigs.
The 2 Manglers charging over here and the Cave Squigs.
Yeah. 2 units of Cave Squigs.
You said the Demon and the Rodigus. And then you got the charge off with your Blight.
Right, yeah. And they just engaged some pink horrors and flamers that were in the middle of the table. Yeah. We went first with the Mangler Squig on the Lord of Change because we wanted to try to take the Lord of Change down.
And
went first with the healthy Mangler Squig.
The healthy one
to have the best shot.
2d6, he only got 6 attacks with his ball and chain, which was a little bit below an average roll. And then hit with 1.
Oh my god. It was...
Wounded with 1.
And then I rolled the 6 for the save.
And he spiked the 6 for the save, so did nothing with him. It was so disappointing.
Felt like throwing away my dice at that point.
And then the
Massive Fangs did get 2 wounds through, and that did 4 damage, I think it was.
And then the Ball and Sticks did nothing.
Yeah, they did nothing.
There was no point.
Then the Lord of Change went, right?
Yeah.
And this was where the fun began.
That's where everything just exploded.
I love it when goblins explode.
It was amazing. The Lord of Change killed the Mangler Squig, which exploded, and did the mortal wounds to every single unit that was in range except the Lord of Change. Except for the Lord of Change. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
There was a whole handful.
Yeah, there were like 7, including the Colossal Squig.
Yep. And then the Colossal
which
Squig
had
blew up.
1 wound left on him.
So
he blew up. And
when they blow up now, they create 5 baby cave squigs.
But you know what? Those guys are amazing because they only hit enemy units.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone in the podcast plays Moonclan or anything like that.
But they should.
They've changed how the Colossal Squig works. It's a lot more pricey. It's up to 300 points now.
He's
but
worth it. He's worth
they've
every point.
increased
He's
some
fun
of his
anyway.
capabilities. He creates cave squigs when he dies, and he now only affects enemies, and it works on 2+.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've really bumped him up. He's really worth the points.
Yeah. So
See, this is why I love Moonclan. Not only are they absolutely hilarious.
now, unfortunately, it's not a 6-inch like with the Mangler.
Yeah.
It's only
a
3
3
inch, but
It's a
And the
3
Lord
inch,
of Change
but
was
still.
out of range of that because it would have been nice to have gotten some.
he will be your spearhead now. Because he
Yeah,
no longer
probably so.
eats your units
Yeah,
anymore.
that's
Yeah.
your units. Yeah. So that was kind of amazing just because everything exploded in the center of the board and just models died everywhere.
They're bombs.
So it
they're
was
ticking
pretty
time
amazing.
bombs.
Yep. Pretty much.
So that was that. Then I went with my Demon Prince, which did wipe out the flaming
To
chariot.
the wound.
To the exact wound. Yep. As the combat went on, the center of the board is bereft of our models now. We had a massive force that collided with his line in the center of the board, and now in the center, I mean the actual center of it, we've got 3 of our models and he's got 1. It's just like clear. Off to the center right on our side, center left for Randy, there's a big huge
There's
scrum.
there's like a small little kind of debacle of people over there.
Which is a Mangler Squig and 2 units of Cave Squigs for us, and a Lord of Change and some Brimstone Horrors and a Pink Horror.
Yeah.
There is another unit of Pink Horrors, but I don't think they're actually engaged.
They're
No.
back a little bit.
So anyway, my Demon Prince killed the chariot, so we claimed that objective on his side. So we had both objectives on his side. That's going to score 6 points. We still hold the one on our side. So we finish up other combats, and I go with my with Rodicus. He's going to kill this herald. And out of a grand total of 8 attacks, I think I hit with 3
Yeah.
and wounded with like 2. So did 4 wounds to him, and he's got 5. I was so disappointed.
Never did anyone think they would be praying so hard that a Nurgling group of attacks would do some kind of damage to someone.
Yeah, right? It's like, come on, Nurglings, get that ninja wound.
The mathematics was just so skewed
No,
on all of our stuff.
And his main attack, his Gnarl Rod, it's 2 to hit, 3 to wound, 5 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 through. He didn't save either one of them.
Man.
And did 4 damage to him. And then his Fanged Maw, D3 attacks, I got the 3 attacks.
Yep.
3 to hit. Awesome.
I think he hit with like 1.
I
but
hit
you
with 1.
Didn't wound.
Wounds on 2s. Rolled a 1.
Yep.
Our dice are disgusting.
It was awesomeness. And then 3 attacks from the host of Nurglings. And, if they're Nurglings, they whiffed. So, disappointing, but it was kind of funny because the Herald should have just exploded.
Yeah.
But,
It did.
dice games. What do you do?
We started this round, and I'm like, he's going to die, pointing at the Herald. They're going to die, pointing at the Chariot. Lord of Change will probably die. And, the Chariot died, but the Lord of Change has, I think, 6 wounds left. The Balls and Chains just did absolutely terrible. And then the Herald has 1 wound left because the Gnarled Rod did terrible.
Yeah, because my dice hate me sometimes. So the dice god said, you set this up beautifully. No. It's not going to happen for you. So anyway, we rolled our priority for round 4. Randy won priority again, but we also crunched the numbers of the objectives and where everything is.
Tell him the score right now. Because you did capture several objectives.
Because we still have my 30 plague bearers on the 1 objective on our side, which is
I haven't even worried this entire game.
Yeah, and realistically now with it being round 4 and everything so far away except for the changeling,
Which is still incognito. You can't target him.
I can't target him, and if he charges into them, they are going to kill him. just because of sheer numbers.
Yeah.
And there just hasn't really been a good opportunity for the changeling to do anything.
But yeah, and he can't capture it anyway. There's just
Yeah.
too many of them. He can't kill enough of them to be able to capture it by end of game. So that's ours. That's going to stay ours. So we've got that one. We captured both of the ones on Randy's side. So this turn we scored 7 points, whereas Randy had scored 5. So that put us up by 2.
Which, this one over here was my fault. The one on my right there left where the Demon Prince is, because I when I piled in, I flew my flamers to the other side of a building outside of the 6.
In all fairness, I killed all but one of them. And if you kept them where they were, I was going to have a couple of my Nurglings that would have been in range to have been scoring too. So it ended up not mattering that you did it. But when you first did it, I was like, ooh, awesome, now I definitely score it.
Yeah.
But since we killed 2, it didn't really matter.
One of the things before the dice were rolled, it's like, oh crap, I just gave them 3 points.
Yeah.
But afterwards, it's like, okay,
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
So that put us 2 up. Randy can do a summon and get enough models close enough to the objective on his left flank to reclaim that on his turn.
I'm currently sitting at 14 fate points with 2 blue horror points. Depending on how my casting goes, I might be able to get up to 29 fate points. So in theory, with a perfect round of casting, I think I can get up to 3 summons of 10. So I could get 30 models onto the board.
Yeah. He probably could recapture. Well, we kind of debated. If things go well for him, he can get the Demon Prince down and at least kill him. Probably recapture it.
Yeah.
But on the very next turn, I've got 30 Plague Bearers that all I have to do is flee combat with, and just surround the area and claim it. So realistically, he could score that one on his turn, but then we're going to get it right back. The other one, I've already got 10 models over there, and am definitely going to have enough points to summon at least 5 more. And if I spike my die rolls for my extra points, then I will get up to 10 more. So we'd be able to claim that one again, most likely.
Right.
The one that he's captured on our side, since he won priority, he would score that. So he had pretty good chance of scoring 5 again, which puts him up by 3. But he's only got 1 wound left on that Herald. He doesn't have enough stuff close enough to Rodigus to really hurt him significantly.
Yeah.
So, and his Herald would if you didn't flee from combat,
I'm dying on my turn.
you're dying on your turn. So you wouldn't score it anyway because I'd kill him and
Right.
then you wouldn't score it. So he'd have to flee from combat. Depending on how far he can't flee too far if he's going to score it. So odds are I can get Rodigus
you
to
could
him.
just move up and then
Then because he's got 8-inch movement. I'd have like a 5-inch charge to get to you. And with his command trait, he's almost guaranteed that charge.
In a perfect scenario for me, I could capture the one on my far left by summoning a group of 10 blue horrors and running my 20-ish brimstone horrors remaining, giving me 30 models on that. And that'll take you probably the rest of the game to get rid of.
To get back, right. But that's denying us 1 point.
Right. Well, no, that's
denying us 3,
points and
scoring
giving
you
me
1.
And then, still in that perfect scenario, I could get 20 blue horrors over here. Which, while that would over here on the right side for me where the Demon Prince is. And while that would capture it for me this turn, once he runs, I would have to get rid of 10 models. And blue horrors aren't just going to do that.
Yeah, and the Demon Prince is going to kill the blue horrors in droves. Unless you kill the Demon Prince. Yeah. Which you would do with spells, but he's out of range of a lot of your stuff.
Well, not really, because I can target through flamers and stuff, which I've got a flamer here.
Yeah, but this one doesn't have line of sight to him.
Right. But I've got lines where I could.
Yeah, well, I said most of your stuff. Yeah. You've got a couple that can get to him. But so basically, as we added up, we kind of decided that, and I left it up to Randy. And I'm assuming that this is still your idea, that because mathematically it's all but impossible.
Right.
That we're going to score.
It's
the
a dice
points.
game. Anything could happen, but in in the mindset of good sportsmanship, I realize I've lost this one. I'm going to be conceding the game to them.
Yep.
It would take literally all of the luck I've ever had in dice games culminated into one moment.
And I give Randy a lot of grief about Tzeentch because they just throw out unstoppable spells all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I always enjoy playing the games with him. They're always fun. They're always close. We always have a close game. And I did. I realized why Tzeentch drives me nuts. I finally realized it. I should have figured it out long before now. It's because they are so unstoppable with the spells that you just feel helpless on the other side of the table. There is literally nothing you can do. Their die rolls for their casting are that's a 10, that's a 12, that's a 13. It's like
and it's
I can't stop those.
And it's
spells.
like I think there was like 1 or 2 times where y'all got like a 10 with a +2 from Mushroom, 12. No other army could really realistically stop that consistently. And then you roll 2 dice, you need 1 6. Laura changes the other one to a 6 and gets +1.
And gets +1, so 13 unbinds it. It's just like, oh my gosh. But yeah. So it was a fun game. I like the scenario. It's a fun scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. No reserves. Everything has to be fielded. So, and if you choose to keep something in reserve, it's dead. So that was kind of interesting.
I think hindsight, my biggest problem was I used a lot of the Petty Vengeance because I didn't read too much into the Blue Horror and Brimstone
I think
Horror
keeping the
summoning.
points, especially an objective capture like this.
Yeah.
The getting the points to pull in the Blue Horror units is probably a better idea.
I was a little intimidated with the 25 wounds or the 21 wounds with each of the Blight Kings. So that's 40-something wounds with just those 2 units. And I was just trying to get as many wounds out on them as possible, as well as the Squigs, because I knew all of them were going to really be doing a whole lot of damage, as well as the Soul Grinder.
Well, see, we're going to see how many of our listeners get this. But you know why I filled 2 units of 5 of the Blight Kings?
Why?
Because that gives me a total number of wounds for my Blight Kings of 42.
The ultimate
Nice.
number of Phenomers.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it, unless you guys have anything else.
Not really.
Enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a great game.
Can't wait to be able to play more when I come back again, and eventually play a whole lot more whenever I'm finally back for good.
Well, and maybe by then I'll have a Beast of Chaos army that we can try out.
I still want to pick up the Ideneth. I just really want a nice aquatic themed list.
You know, it just makes absolutely no sense for you to get that right now.
I know.
I'm still stuck on these goblins. They're pretty great.
Yeah, they are.
I love my Moonclan.
You just need to get 2 or 3 Squig Gabas,
Yeah.
another colossal Squig. That way you have a variety of options to choose for
I
your
want to
big-
get some more
big
Cape
humans.
Squig too.
I love the purple squigs.
Yes.
They need to be finished.
They're
Yeah,
so
you need
pretty.
to finish them.
Yeah.
The
with what
purple
time?
with that blue.
Yeah, with the blue and then the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look really
so
good.
pretty.
They look really, really good. Okay, listeners, we're just rambling at this point, so we it's not a formatted show, and I know a lot of people don't like to listen to battle reports, and it's kind of hard to really understand what's going on. But it's been a long time since Randy's been in town and able to be on the show. We squeezed in time to get a game in. Work's been insane. We literally squeezed in time to get a game in. He's about to head back to the island, so we wanted to get this done instead of recording a session. So we wanted to get him the game. So we're doing a battle report. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed hearing Randy again. And Allie, is this the first time on the podcast with us?
Yeah, actually.
We need to do that more often. We need to get you on the podcast more often. We can get you and maybe if we get you coming to do the podcast regularly, maybe
Tila
Tila
will
will
actually come back.
Yeah, so and Tila and Seth were going to come and play, but Tila got stuck at work,
Yeah.
so they couldn't make it.
Work just interferes with everything.
Yeah, work tends to do that sometimes.
They just need to quit their jobs.
There's a reason it's called work.
Yeah.
And I am still rambling, so we're going to sign off there. You can, of course, find us on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, look for Age of the Hammer, and you'll find our page. We are on Twitter at Age of the Hammer, and send us email, ageofthehammer@gmail.com. And until next time, listeners, keep rolling your dice.
the SGWA would like to thank you for listening. We would also like to mention our theme music, the classic O Fortuna, as recorded by the MIT Concert Choir and used under common license. The age of the hammer is upon us.